Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my wife, the millstone.
C'est bon.
Praises be to Allah, Bashar, Bashar, Kagudash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the millstone. And honors and salutation out there to the old free light. So, alright, so this video is basically going to be, sliding through Instagram Reels. And this video popped up with the missiles and the scriptures just popping off through my head. Okay, so we just gonna get straight into it, man. First scripture we want to jump into is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. And we in that time now, man. Woe means destruction. Okay? And the destruction and the calamities is in the beginning of Jacob's trouble, and basically the end of Esau's world is happening. You got it's gonna tell you, but you got the Amalekites, the small hats basically pushing the US into, war with Iran. It was, that's going to spark World War III. And we know that, Esau has his New World Order, so that's what's going to happen anyway. And we know that Charagma is on his way as well. And this it ain't happen out of nowhere, but, Netanyahu or Satanyahu, basically, led some strikes on Iran, I think like a week ago or something. I think it's like the 7th day or whatever of Israel and Iran going at it. And so Satanyahu, he just, basically, struck Iran with missiles, and of course Iran retaliated, and in that process, Satanyahu, he fucking fled the country of Israel. I believe he went to Cyprus or whatever. He's basically using, which again, this all goes to the New World Order, the so-called Zionists or the international bankers, the elites, the Rothschilds, the small hats that run the world, man. Okay, they're using their own people as pawns, man. Okay, or the land of Israel as pawns, just to get the U.S. to, hopefully, join in that war, because we know that, Russia, China are going to back Iran, one way or another. Eventually they're going to have boots on the ground over there in the Middle East. It's going to be a great war. Okay, it's going to be the war to end all wars. Okay, that's World War III. And that's what we, Lord's will. Like, hey, one of Iran missiles, True Promise. And that True Promise is really for, the Lord's people, man, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Specifically on this side, the elect of his people, man. His remnant, the remnant of Israel. The Lord's elect are going to receive the kingdom of heaven, man, through Yahweh Shah, man. Yahweh Shah, or whom the world calls Jesus Christ, is going to, deliver his elect, man, from, these calamities that's coming, man. World War III, famine, death, plagues, and especially that Charagma, which is the implantable device that's recorded in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, or the next chapter over. We in that time period now, man. You have martial law. You already got these protests. You got wars and rumors of wars. You got, earthquakes, weather phenomenon all over. You got the signs in the earth and in the heavens and in the sea. Okay, everything is happening or playing out, in biblical times and fashion, man. The prophecies are just popping off the pages. So we in this topic of World War III, and that's the times that we living in, man. The bread of circuses, hey, that's it's finna be wrapped up, man. Finna be wrapped up and packed up. We finna be in a time of horrifying calamities, man. And supposedly, which again, you got sleeper cells, and you got Esau's false flags, just like the false flag, Netanyahu is using, trying to say, which, Trump and all the political parties are pushing that Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon. And that's been going on for 30, 40 plus years, man. They've been saying that Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon, just basically using a false pretext to justify, war, to justify, a global takeover. That's why, the small hats are planted over there in the Middle East is just try to take over the world, man. He has to conquer those areas, even though they might be all buddy in the long run. But Esau, he wants a global takeover of the planet Earth, man. And of course you got that one world order where, he thinks that all should be one people. And that's going to be in the form of that Quran. Just like he had all people put on the damn mask, and get a jab, he's going to cause, like the scriptures say, both rich and poor, small and great, and everybody to receive that implantable device in their skin. We in those times, man. World War III might just kick that off. So anyway, it says, for the devil is who? The so-called white man, is come down unto you having great wrath, okay? Having great wrath, and you see it. Look what he's doing to, those people over there in the Middle East, the so-called Palestinians, man, okay? And he's showing his horns, man, and the whole world sees it. Esau, or Amalek is such a damn devil, he basically minimizing what Esau has done as a whole, as a people, because they only focus on the small hats, okay, because they're a necessary and parasitical evil, man. Okay, they're the worst of the heathen, man. Okay, they're the worst of the heathen, and everybody is seeing and watching, man. Okay, they're the number one enemies of the Most High, man. Okay, and it says Amalek, the first of the nations. Okay, that try to raise up or rose up against Israel. And that's just been from our conception, man. Okay, and from the womb, that enmity, man, that we have for one another, especially Esau. How he gets down. Okay, he's known as the violent. Okay, and the violent take up our force, and you see it in real time, man. You see who the devil is in real time. And again, like I said, people are waking up. All the nations are waking up, man. You had this video of this, Asian guy, Moab, whatever he was, basically exposing the international bankers, man, the elites, the so-called Zionists, okay? And he was saying how he has an app called I think it's called Red Note. It's like a Chinese app or whatever, based upon, China. But he was basically exposing, the agenda on that app Red Note, and his video got removed, right? How the hell did your video get removed because you're talking about the agenda from the small hats? Your video gets removed, but the app is based upon China. Why is that? Because like he was going into the video, they own everything, man. Okay? The first of the nations is no coincidence, man. Okay, like you have Edom, Moab, and Ammon at the top. Okay, because they were the first nation to come against Israel, man. And the Most High put them at the top just so he can bring them down, man. And then you see China, they damn near number one in everything, man. Okay? The Most High is doing that. He's building these nations up just so he can bring them down. Okay, just like America. America is built up mainly the military, okay, because America is on a major decline. Even during that 250 year celebration, the Flag Day, whatever, that was sloppy as hell, man. That was a damn joke, man. Even though they claim to say America is not really in the parades, showing their force, but that shit was embarrassing, man. But you got Russia and China, they on a whole nother level, or North Korea or whatever, when they showing off their military, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's going to come down to, war. Okay, that's why they spend most of their money on their military. Okay, military comes first. Why? Because we're in that time, man. All these nations, they want that number one spot, man. Okay? Just like that song with Ludacris, I'm coming for that #1 spot. You know, and all these nations are fighting against each other. It's like they were supposed to come together with one agreement to take down Israel, but they fighting one another, man. Okay, you got Elon Musk and Trump beefing. Everybody beefing, man, amongst each other, man, amongst these nations, man. They can't be in one agreement and harmony because the Most High ruleth in the kingdoms of men. Okay, the Most High, he putting that spirit of war because we in a time of war right now, man. Okay, we in a time of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Of course, Satan, you know, really interrupted the damn video. Well, I'm gonna go back to the scriptures. All right, Joel, the 3rd chapter. This is it says the nations will be judged. We're in that time period, man. I'm gonna go to verse 1. It says Joel 3:1, for behold, in those days and at that time will I bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. You know, the northern and the southern kingdom of Israel. Okay, which we're, you know, like it says, we were oppressed together in Babylon the Great. Okay, which is the daughter of Edom, which today would be America. Okay, and Edom, the Amalekites, they know that America is Babylon, man, or Edom. Okay, and the small and the people over here, the Americans, the Anglo Americans, or the white Americans, or the Caucasian people over here, you know, that know something, that they know that the Amalekites are Edomites. Okay, so both sides know who they are, man. Okay, so there's no getting around it. All right, I don't give a damn if you have agents and shit that teach the contrary to what the Most High already set up, man. Okay, when these elites know that they Edomites, okay, they might as well just come out and say it. You know, they know about Malachi, the 4th chapter. I believe it was the 4th. No, the 3rd chapter. Yeah. Hey, let me make sure. Malachi 3. Is it really 4? Or is it 1? Yo, come on with this Max shit. Fucking Satan, man. All right, it's chapter 1. All right, yeah, they know about, you know, Malachi, or the book of Malachi. They know about the book of Obadiah, man, which they say he's the least prophet, you know, trying to minimize, you know, what the judgment that he pronounced on the devil's people, man, the Edomites. The Most High set you damn devils up to play the role of the devil, you know, and you're doing an excellent job, but yet you say you're not the devil when you're doing what a devil would do. Okay, all your actions and all the atrocities and what you have done in history have shown you to be nothing but the damn devil, man. A murderous, vile vermin, okay? A genocidal, homicidal, and suicidal maniac, okay? A megalomaniac, man. Okay, and we see your New World Order, okay? We see, you know, total totalitarianism. And these people are playing into it. You know, you got these protests, but you see, they ain't got no, the protests ain't got no goddamn power, man. You know, you got higher insurrections out there, you know, just basically bamboozling the people out there to think to act like they got some real fucking power. Yet you seeing the damn military or the law enforcement becoming militarized. They got all the damn weapons, okay? They have the ability to drop a bomb on you, man. They want you people to rebel so they can bring in martial law, man. Okay? So they can have the army over here or the military to enforce the law. Okay? Like the scriptures say, you're gonna be cast out of your houses. You're not gonna have anywhere to go. It ain't gonna be no damn food on the shelves. Okay? The city gonna be locked down. It's gonna be total judgment and anarchy in the streets, okay, of Babylon. And in the very near future, man, we in that time now, man. And you seeing how bugged out these people are, especially the 2/3 of Israel, okay? They ain't got no damn fire in the damn house. if they do, the parents ain't tell them to do shit, or they can't tell their children to do shit, and they out here fucking raising all hell in the damn streets, man. You had in Philadelphia, I think last night or whatever, you had a 20-year-old woman that was shot in the damn head, fighting for her life right now. Who you think did that? Some young niggas. Okay, like you got these niggas out here stealing. Man, I don't know how I got into niggas, but it even goes back to niggas or Esau, man. Okay, one or the other, man. But anyway, it says the nations will be judged. Verse 2, Joel 3:2. It says, I will also gather all nations. That's what the Lord is doing now, man. Again, this all goes back to biblical prophecy. Okay, you had Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson debating whatever, and Ted Cruz, he really, obviously fucking, he's bugged the hell out, man, but he really thinks the people that call themselves the Jews today are the real Jews, man. They not, man. Okay, the real Jews are the people in this country, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are indigenous to South America, northern South America, man, and the islands, man. Those are the Israelites. But yet, because Esau is in power, the Amalek, they run everything. You believe that they the people of the Most High. It said that the people of the Most High are going to be poor, man. Okay? We're going to be a disenchanted. It's a word I'm looking for, but it'll come back to me. But we on the fucking bottom, man. Okay? Those are the people of the Lord, the ones on the fucking bottom. Okay? And then you have our people that are scattered. Okay? We were scattered into all nations, and we produce children with those nations, man. Okay? The men of our nation produce children with, women of the other nations, man. And their children are Israelites, but they may look like the other nations, though. But they're still Israelites because of the seed. Okay? The sperma. Okay? Their line, their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? And it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat and will plead with them. Yeah, disenfranchised. That's one of the words. We're the most disenfranchised people on the planet. We don't have shit. Okay? And it says, they're for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay? And that's why the Most High is gathering these nations together. That's why we happy, Even though we may be going through our trials and tribulations and shit, we might be down, try to warn the fuck out. Hey, we know that, the Lord is working, man. So we got to work. It says, give him no rest till he establish the kingdom and make Jerusalem a praise in the earth, man. We know what's coming, okay? He said he will beautify the meek with salvation. We know what's coming, man. We know about Yahweh Shah, man. Okay, I seen the billboard driving past, even though it was in Charger of Borgia, or the Jesus. It says, because I was talking about, like, in the midst of me talking about, I was talking about the Most High. Then I was riding past and I seen that sign that said, Jesus is alive. I was like, oh, there you go. That's a sign right there, man. Okay, which is Yahweh Shah in Hebrew, the real name. That's how you're going to be saved, is through that name right there, man. Yahweh Shah, and it's going to be through faith, and if you're of the elect or not. But anyway, yeah, this is why the nations are gathering together, man. That's why, like I said earlier, that once the U.S. enters that war with Iran, that Russia and China is going to basically back up Iran, okay? If you go in the book of Ezekiel 38, which, people are finding out, everything is in the Bible. This is all prophecy, man. All the kingdoms that have been before that ever rose up and in power, it was already predicted in the scriptures, man. All the major powers that rose up in the earth, man, it was already predicted in the Bible before it even, came into existence. Just like this World War III that we're about to enter into now, that was already in the scriptures, man. Okay, like I mentioned, Ezekiel 38, that was already in the scriptures, man. We in that time now, Gog and Magog. Okay, and it mentions Iran. Okay, and it mentions the small hats that's going to bring the U.S. into war. okay? That's going to bring about their inevitable downfall, man. All right, so I'm going to go down to verse 10, go verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, which are the other nations, prepare war. Okay, again, it's all about the military, and you seeing the strength of hopefully this video is up here. You got this demonic shit, but you see the nations being exposed, man. The nations are being exposed. This is why the Lord got to come back, man. Okay, Esau's influence. This is Esau's influence, man. It's corrupting the nations, man. Even though they already corrupt any damn way, but this is madness, man. If this was our kingdom, the Lord, this would not be allowed in the slightest, man. Okay, especially from these people, man. You know, when you see people like this, that really make you gnash your fucking teeth, man. Because you know damn well they're not supposed to be behaving like this, man. Okay? Got this demonic. But anyway, this was about this. Of course, Satan wanted to fucking pull that shit up. But you see, you know, the power of the Heavenly Father, man. I might entitle this video, The Fire of My Jealousy. And these are supposedly hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles, you know, which was able to, you know, crack through, you know, Amalek's Iron Dome, you know, or their missile defense system. And you see that, like, this shit is crazy. And there's other videos too of, like, I don't know if they were aircrafts or missiles, but the way they were shot, like, these are the modern day arrows, man, or the flying swords. Okay? These are the modern day arrows, man. And look how devastatingly impressive these missiles are, man. The fire. Look at that. You see the sonic. You see the wave. But these not even, you know, nuclear warheads, man. Imagine a nuclear warhead, man. Okay, a nuclear payload. And we talking about hundreds of thousands, like the scriptures say, 200 million missiles or warheads are going to basically obliterate Babylon the Great, okay? We in that time now, man. Look at the power, man. You see how it is descending. It is like it's going in slow motion. Then all of a sudden, it just speeds up and shoots down. And you look at the comments. The first thing you do is go to the comments, man. Because you'll get a lot of, you'll come across a lot of information, or, you know, you see the general sentiment of what the people are thinking, man. Okay, but this is all in the scriptures, man. This is all in the scriptures. You see the powerful impact of these missiles, man. The fire of my jealousy, man. These are the Lord's indignation, man. Okay? Imagine what it's going to be like when Babylon gets his punishment, or receives his punishment, man, from these other nations with nuclear capability or nuclear weaponry, from Russia and China. Okay? So again, you know, Satan Yahoo, he basically using, you know, the land of Israel as a scapegoat, you know, to get the U.S. into war with Iran. Okay? So, hey, man, the game, you know, game time is over, man. The games is over, man. It's like I said, he know that he had but a short time, man. And this is summertime. This is wartime. You know, but meanwhile, people are just so wrapped up because they're in America. You know, they don't have a care in the fucking. All right, man. Fucking Satan, dog. All right, go back over here. It's Joel 3:12. It says, verse 10 is like, it says, look over verse 9 again. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men of the military of the different nations. Let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Like, basically, America has been bullying all these nations for years, and now they have, weapons, that can, fight against or put up a fight against, the powers that be, man. The powers that be are Amalek and the U.S., which, Amalek runs, the U.S. or controls the U.S., and then you got the EU, NATO, okay? So now, these Middle Eastern nations, and these Asiatic nations, they have the power to fight against, the powers that be, the Edomites, okay? Then you have Russia as well. Then if you do read about, the Soviet Union, fucking America built that up, man, okay? Russia gets their weapons from America, okay? America has funded every fucking thing, man, But now everybody's the boogeyman, okay? Just like, Al Qaeda, that's a CIA operation, man, okay? You got CIA, then you got Mossad, okay? This all goes back to, Amalek, the small hats in Babylon. Okay? But anyway, these nations now, again, they were funded by the U.S. Even during the war, the Afghan war, or with Saddam and Iran, Esau, okay, the U.S. and Israel, they were funding both sides, okay? Mainly, Israel was funding Iran at that time, because they seen, Saddam as a bigger threat. But now, they're the bad guys, They're the bad guys now. They're the boogeymen. It's like Putin, the boogeyman, okay? But now, like, again, this video you're looking at, you're seeing, Iran, they became strong, okay? You can't bully them like you've been bullying them, just like God. What the fuck do they have? They got nothing, okay? They got stones and shit. They got literally nothing. You seeing their fucking whole place that they were inhabiting, which is our land, it completely decimated, man. Okay? They don't have nothing to even the playing field, just like as we're seeing with these ballistic missiles from Iran. Okay? They have something that can even the playing field. That's why the goddamn, the gutter rats are fucking begging, it's going to happen anyway, because the U.S. is owned by Israel, okay? It's going to happen anyway. We just got to go through the fucking political theater and the fucking theatrics of it, But it's going to play out just how the scriptures say it's going to play out, man. Okay? Because we're living in biblical times, man. We live in that, we at the end of the end. Okay? We're in the end game, folks. Okay? We at the end all be all. And the water in all wars is World War III. Because the scriptures say so. It says, woe, which is World War III. Let me see if it's going to come up. All right, this is Revelation 8 and 13, or 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound, okay? Which is the third world's war. And there's more scriptures, that goes into it in Revelation. We just want to jump to another precept. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, said Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured by the fire of my jealousy. Okay? And you see it, man. This is the fire of the Lord's jealousy, man. Okay? These motherfucking missiles, man. Okay? That produces devastating destruction. Okay? It says the day of the Lord shall come as destruction from the Almighty. Let me see if it's going to pop up. The day of the Lord shall be as destruction. Yep, there you go. This is Isaiah 13:6. It says the judgment on the day of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Shem Kodash. It says how ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. Okay? And guess what? The prophets are howling. Let me see this word. How you allow to well make a what howling. Okay, we telling you before it happens, man. There ain't nothing much on there. Hold up. And distress. Yeah, we in those that distressing time, man. It says for the day Yahweh is at hand. Hold on. For the day of Yahweh is at hand. It is come as a destruction from the Almighty. This is Yahweh. Okay? Shad. Havoc. Havoc. Devastation. Widespread destruction. Okay? So the Lord is coming to bring widespread destruction, man. And violence. Ruin. Okay? That's what the Lord is coming to bring, man. Okay? These missiles are going to bring widespread destruction. It says the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Okay? And this book goes in, man. This, Isaiah chapter 13, it says Babylon will fall to the Medes. Okay, Babylon being America and the Medes are the Russians, man. Okay. It says, I'm going to go to verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, the Russians, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So you're not going to bribe, Vladimir Putin, man. Okay. It talks about, Gog and Magog having an evil thought in their mind, man. And they're not going to turn away from it, okay? It says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. There, it says their bows, man. Okay, those missiles. And it says the arrows. It says in Babylon, the glory of kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. You see? Yeah, that's talking about America. America going to be getting hit with millions of these missiles, man, with nuclear warheads. Okay? You ain't going to be having motherfucker. I mean, if they recording, man, the recording, unless they live streaming, okay, and we can find a feed on the other side of the planet. If they still had those media outlets, and those streaming services, and if YouTube is still in power, okay, you might be able to see that, on your phone, on your telephone, man. Okay, people on the other side of the world, they might be televising, America's downfall. They might have it live stream, man. America's destruction might be live stream, man. Okay, you might have a goddamn camera on one of them damn missiles, man. But this is, hey, man, this is the power of the Heavenly Father and his prophecies. And it says, and it shall never, this is talking about America, it shall never, again, horse with no name. I went through the desert on a horse with no name. They got fucking movies, TV shows, music, okay? You go on the website, the Doomsday Clock or whatever, they have like somewhere where it has like references to people that made music about. All right, Satan interrupted me again. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. It said, it shall never be inhabited. Isaiah 13:20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, man. Okay, this America's gonna be a complete desert wasteland, okay? That's why you got, you know, Fallout, the video game Fallout, you know, it's a TV series now. They showing you the future, okay? But that's not how it's gonna be though, okay? Like the Lord said, nobody shall dwell in it, man. When the missiles drop on America, nobody's gonna be here, man. It's gonna be a desolate wasteland, okay? Wilderness. It says, but what's gonna be here after a certain period of time, you know, after the dust settles, the smoke clears, you know, probably the radiation, you know, whatever, you know, eventually it says what? But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Okay, so that's after, you know, America is totally obliterated, you know, and then after a while, you know, you're going to have wild creatures over here, man. Okay, different animals. And it says, owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons their desolate palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Okay? Yeah, America's days shall not be prolonged, man. Okay, we at the end. Or it says dragged. Okay, it shall not drag out. Postpone. It says, though it tarry, wait for it shall surely come. The Lord's not delaying, you know, Esau's downfall, man. It's actually being sped up, man. It says the Lord will shorten the time for the elect's sake. And we're seeing it in real time. Okay, and you're seeing that the least of the flock is drawing the U.S. into war, man, again. Okay? Just like, again, 2003, you know, Israel led America to war against Afghanistan. Okay, and it's happening today with Iran. But this time, guess what? The Russians and China, they're going to pull up, okay? They're going to pull up on Babylon. And eventually they're going to have an all-out war, you know, and it probably most likely during that time, you know, Esau going to have that charagma, okay? Or he might establish charagma, and then they're going to go to, you know, war, all-out war. You know, then the Lord's going to intervene, and he's going to show up and just take out all of them, all in one spot. It said he perceived nothing. Ezra's perceived nothing but dust and smoke, okay? Burning flesh, okay? The Lord, he going to vaporize, you know, the armies or the other nations, man, okay? So I'm gonna end it off with this one. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Yep, and that's World War III. You know, the end of Babylon the Great. So with that, hopefully that was edifying. Until next time, say shalom.